What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. We are back, and it is Thanksgiving week. And where better to spend it than with your hashtag family here at Alarm Fantasy Football? Howard Bender, how you doing today, my man? You excited for the biggest week of football of the year? No bye
I am
weeks, football
very
every day.
excited.
Yeah,
No bye weeks, right? 3 games on Thursday, 1 game on Friday, a full DFS slate to play around with still on Sunday night game. So yeah, I'm excited, man. This is always a good one here in Fantasy Alarm. We just we pivot through these weeks. Like I spent all morning here. I'm working on both the watch list and the Thursday playbook. There will be a playbook specifically for everybody who needs to know. There's going to be a DFS playbook specific to the 3 games on Thursday with the 4th game on Friday. All right, there will be a showdown write-up for the Friday game, but because some of these slates are doing the 4 games, then that's what we're gonna build for the playbook. There will be a separate playbook for Sunday as well. The DFS coaches are getting all their content in. The Fantasy Alarm family is putting their content in nice and early, trying to get you guys all set and squared away. We know this is a big week here, right? There's 2 weeks left in the fantasy regular season. So whether you're fighting for seeding, for positioning, or you're on the playoff bubble, we know that wins are paramount right now and every point counts. So we're here 100% for you guys. As you can see, we're like loaded up at Discord. We're loaded up over here on these shows, and we're psyched to have you guys here joining us. Appreciate that. Hit that like and subscribe button. Show a nice little free way to shout us out. You can also be a member here of the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Just click that join button. If you're watching on X or you're watching on Twitch or something like that, come on over to the YouTube channel and click that join button. All your questions when you join the family, boom, to the top of the queue. I even see some in there already, Coop.
that's right. We got them in there. We're getting them up and running. And again, this week, unlike many other weeks, we will be a little more lenient when it comes to start sits and things like that. We know that people got crazy schedules with family and travel and all that. The rankings will be up this evening, as always. I still got to get in and do those. So we're still waiting on some injury news. If you got questions for the Thursday games for today and tomorrow, those ones we will have more injury information because their schedule's been moved up a little bit. So we're going to do our best to help you guys. Tomorrow's show, rather than being trades and DFS, we're just going to do a big Thanksgiving bonanza. It's going to be whatever you guys want. We are going to talk DFS. We're going to talk about the Thursday games and all that. But we're also going to do all your start sits because we don't have a show on Thursday. I will be back on Friday with the lovely Mr. Bob Harris as my guest at 1 o'clock. So it's going to be a good one here. But yeah, folks, get those questions in. Bender, before we get in there, let's talk about just real quick recap because you and I haven't done a show since this weekend on some players that hit and missed. And I just want to mention something. I actually snuck over to my buddies for the second half of like 45 minutes just to watch the end of the Patriots game. And people were saying, who the heck is Mitchell Tinsley? And I was saying, Howard Bender said the name of that fella on national radio this morning. Maybe the only person in the world out there that said, hey, you know what? If you want a really gross deep dart throw, Mitchell Tinsley, dude. So I was like, you know what? Not only do we know who that is, that name was spoken. So I got to give you a quick credit on that. That was good. That is a deep one.
Thank you. He was in the DFS dartboard as well. Another min price guy who, you got to look at stuff like that. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins ended up getting concussed, right? So you had to look a little deeper. Even for 3 wide receiver sets for Cincinnati, it was T. Higgins, Andre Yosivas, and who?
And Mitchell Tinsley. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even throw the caveat on there with the injury because T. Higgins played 50 snaps. That concussion came very late. Those guys were playing the whole game, man. So big shout out, dude. Absolutely crushed with that one. A bunch of your other plays. You know which one I will say I was sweating big time? You and I on the radio told a couple people to start Kareem Hunt. And then we got into the YouTube channel, which often happens after the radio show. And people are like, should I be starting Kareem Hunt? And like a lot of the questions, we were like, yeah, man, like no Pacheco. He's been the guy getting like all the snaps. It's a good matchup. Sure enough, so that was one where I was sweating it. I was like, "Come on, Kareem, you got to make us look good here," and he did. So that one worked out all right. What other ones hit for you?
Other ones that hit. I mean, listen, Jalen Hurts, and I told this to everybody out there. If you subscribe to Fantasy Alarm, then you saw it in the example lineups on Sunday morning as well. I built a Jalen Hurts lineup that absolutely crushed, and I posted it as an example lineup, right? And it had the pairing of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, scored 233 plus DraftKings points. If you put that into a strong contest with a high pay total, then I mean, listen, in a dollar contest, you 8x your money. In a $5 contest, you 7x your money. So I mean, the payouts were really nice for that. So Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, I told everybody you got to pivot to Emmanuel Wilson. When we got that news, we talked about it on Sunday morning show. If he is in and there's no Josh Jacobs, you got to look at him. And I actually changed that out in some example lineups as well. I had David Montgomery in there as a flex play on FanDuel for cash lineups just to play him with Jahmyr Gibbs, just in case the Giants completely, fell apart and they want to spare Jahmyr Gibbs from rushing for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns and whatever the hell else he ended up doing there. So I hit that. Michael Wilson dominated again. Darnell Mooney. We gave you guys that one as well. The Moon Boy.
Yeah.
And then Coop, how about your boy? How about Hunter Henry? Hunter in the hen house, dude. Come on.
Anybody that plays the Bengals immediately turns into Tony Gonzalez. Like it is crazy. That was the 13th touchdown against them on the season in 11 games. So anybody that goes against the Bengals is absolutely a spot start. So keep that in the back of your mind. Mark Andrews back on the radar this week for us. Yeah, I mean, good stuff for me too. My diva stack. If I just started Hunter Henry instead of Travis Kelce, the diva stack was just starting all wide receivers from the Cowboys and Eagles game. I mean, each one of those guys got 10 targets, so would have worked out a little better. But it was a good week overall. We had some down weeks from guys like Stephon Diggs that hurt us a little bit. Kadarius Hodge, I know it was a $3,000 play, but he didn't even play. Like David Sales scored a touchdown. So Kluge, I had to hit up Kluge and be like, all right, dude.
I thought of you when he scored that touchdown. I was like, poor Coop.
Good for him, though. We all took our stab on that. Alec Pierce also didn't do much after he's been pretty solid. So that was a tough one for people. But, overall, good week. Good week. Why don't we jump in and see what the people have in the chat?
Yeah, we'll definitely pop into the chat. Just as a reminder to everybody out there, all right? All of these plays that we've been giving out, all of these big hits, we've had misses. Of course we have, like Stephon Diggs, right? Drake May didn't even put up a great showing there against Cincinnati, which really kind of bummed me out as well. But all of these plays and everything that we do, from the playbook, the DFS, from the season-long aspect, to talking to us in Discord and just bouncing off ideas. I always joke around about Phil D, this guy who's just on a tear in DFS, and he and I just banter back and forth in our Discord. So if you want to join up, I mean, there's no better time than right now, right? You're going to get multiple playbooks this week. You still have our NBA team that is on fire, the NHL team as well, all pro subscription. FantasyAlarm.com/YouTube. It'll auto-populate the YT50 promo code, which takes 50% off of your first month. All right. It's all sports, and it's DFS season long, and it's betting. We don't charge separately. We're not going to upcharge you here or nickel dime you guys looking for extra money because you want our best bets. We've got it all right over there in Fantasy Alarm, and it is the best deal going right now in all fantasy sports. Everybody else, I've gone around, I've looked at what their packages are, I've looked at what their offerings are. There's nobody better than us. You have more bang for your buck than anybody else. So FantasyAlarm.com/YouTube, promo code YT50 takes 50% off your first month. Want to make sure that you guys get in on all of that because we're getting ready to cruise. We are cruising, right? I mean, I keep posting every single week. I keep posting all of these underdog hits, right? And shout out to Greg Martinez, who keeps shouting me out every time he hits. So You want to get in on the family, don't miss out. Holiday time, great opportunity to spend some, to spend a little bit of money to make a lot of money. Right? I got Ani Coop Christmas presents coming from Alaska, so I gotta
Deserves
keep
them.
rolling this up. So I just want to shout that out for you guys. Make sure that you are checking in with the Fantasy Alarm family. Now let's go in there and let's hit the chat. Now, first and foremost, as always, like I said, all members get theirs bumped to the front of the line. So we start with Roddy Rods right here, Fantasy Alarm member. He also said, hey, fellas, happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody else. He's already working those trade phones, 10-team keeper. I would trade Jefferson and Parker Washington for Pickens and Javonte Williams. My team is set to win. That's a deal I would make.
That's got to be a dynasty, Roddy. Is that a dynasty league? Because if it's not dynasty, it's keeper. Yeah, okay. So yep, you're right. So with keeper, then it's actually a question because Jefferson, you are selling low on Jefferson a little bit here. But if you're set to win, you got to go for Pickens and Javonte Williams and just secure the win right now. And for me in dynasty, here's the reality of dynasty leagues, especially 10-team, that the good teams are so top heavy and the bad teams are so bad that Parker Washington to me is a nothing piece. He really is. Like, he's not going to be part of a winning lineup pretty much at any point because all the teams that are going to the playoffs in a 10-team keeper league are going to have better players than Parker Washington this year, next year, whenever. So I'm not worried at all about trading away Parker Washington, something like that.
I am not worried about that either. His team from this question, by the way, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. Oh, this is a wagon. Adding in these two guys, Pickens and Javonte.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Just increases your odds of winning. And in Dynasty, I am always a huge fan of pushing the chips because it's so dang hard to win a fantasy league. There are leagues where I've had the best team in the league on paper every year for like 7 straight years, and I've won one time. Like, when you have a chance, you've got to push the chips, get your name on that trophy because you never know when you're going to be back again. See, too many people get too cute, worried about the future. Win the league. That's what fantasy is about.
That is what fantasy is about. Shout out High Hopes in there. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you get to see all the fun emojis that the family members all get to throw out there. There's a Coop emoji, there's a Bender emoji, there's a good vibes emoji. Appreciate that. DM7819 is in here. Good morning, fam, as well. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for staying with us here. Here we go. You ready for this one? Jay Romany in there. Boys, I went 5 for 6 on bets this week. That's what I'm talking about. He says, thank you, fam. Are you grabbing yours? I'll grab mine. Hey. Oh.
When you go 5 or 6, dude, when you go 5 or 6, you get to rock the chain.
Come on, baby.
Gang,
All right. Let's pop
gang,
that in
baby.
there. Let's pop that in there real quick. Beautiful, beautiful. So congratulations there. Question coming in here from our boy Raider Dave, 78. I've got the Detroit defense now. Colts, Bucks, Rams, San Francisco on waivers. Who would you recommend playing the number 1 team on 1 win out of the playoffs? Need points. All right. So that's a good, solid question there, especially looking in here. I tell you what, I like the Colts. I like what their secondary is doing, and it sounds like it's going to be Davis Mills again. And it's not going to be CJ Stroud. So I'm interested there. You can definitely look at the Bucks here going up against Arizona. Rams defense. Who are the Rams? Rams are on the road in Carolina. That might be the one. That might be the one.
Here's the thing, Raider Dave. The question is it a 1-week play or are you looking at rest of season? Because if it's a 1-week play, it's the Rams. Because they are actually, I think with San Francisco, they played well last night, but they're really not a good defense this year like in the past. The Rams are one of the best defenses in the league. So if it's a 1-week play, it's them. If you're looking at the rest of the season, the Bucks have an incredible schedule. They truly do. Like, this is their hardest game, and it's against Jacoby Brissett, who, he's been playing well fantasy-wise, but he's been turning the ball over left and right. 2 fumbles for touchdowns against the Seahawks. Their schedule goes Arizona, Saints, Falcons against Cousins, Panthers, and then Dolphins. That schedule for the Bucks is awesome. So if it's a rest of season play, I'd go Bucks. But if you're just going for this week, go Rams. And the thing with the Rams is you're going to need a different defense when they play the Lions. I think they have the Lions on the schedule. So they go Lions Seahawks. You're actually probably going to want to abandon them come week 15 and 16 for somebody else. I just don't want to play that game. But it looks like there's plenty of guys on waivers. Like with all those teams on waivers, just go with the best one this week, which is Rams.
Yeah, Rams. Float them in.
So
Absolutely.
might as well just hit the overall landscape for defense real quick while we're on it.
No, let's keep saying hi to everybody. We got some stuff going on here. Deborah West, new member there, throwing the pink hand waving. So we'll just wave over to her as well. We'll slide in and we'll do some defenses and stuff like that in just a hot second here. We did have one person who was in before anybody. And listen, I'll bust this sucker out in a little bit here.
Let me just say, Deb, I met her at the expo. We hung out for a while at the expo at the meet and greet event and a bunch of stuff. I mean, she's awesome, dude. So shout out, Deb.
All right, shout out, Deb. Noah Hartman, 1870, was in here before anybody else, so I can't post the question, but I can read it to you here, Coop.
I can post it because I got in here before anybody
did. Look at you.
Yes,
post it away. Here we go.
I logged in before anyone. Noah, though, got in here a half hour before the show starts. That's the trick to getting your questions in early. That's some of the savvy veterans know. So there it is, Bender. 2 flex spots. Who do I drop out of Hubbard, Burden, and Devin Neal? Looking to keep bench upside. Not sure Neal starts in my current lineup, even if Kamara sits. I mean, but here's the thing about Hubbard is that he doesn't really play at all, and the starter for that team is healthy. So for me, it probably would be Hubbard that I drop there, and you keep Burden because he's got the rookie upside, and you got to go with the thing about Devin Neal is Kamara. We don't know; he could get put on IR today, tomorrow, Thursday, and then now he's done for the year because you don't put a guy on IR in week 13 when you have 2 wins and then bring him back. So. You got to be holding on to Neal. He's one of the top ads this week, definitely at running back.
And Burden, I mean, that's back-to-back games with 5 targets. Right. He's clearly surpassed Olamide Zaccheaus in the lineup. So, sadly, it hurts me every time I have to say it. Hubbard's the drop.
Yeah, it hurts.
It just crushes my soul.
People have been asking, like, people always are like, oh, who's the next Amon-Ra St. Brown? And this year, people are saying, like, especially in Dynasty and Keeper leagues, they're like, who's going to be the next Jackson Smith and Jigba? And again, to have somebody come out and be on pace for 2,000 yards is crazy. But the guy that, in my opinion, has the talent and doesn't have the role yet, but could have a bigger role next year, which is how we got JSN, Luther Burden's got to be the top candidate for that, right, Howard?
I mean, I think he's a candidate for good possible late season breakout. Absolutely. And as long as he's going to see the targets and everything, I won't say his name in the same sentence as a JSN or an Amon-Ra St. Brown yet.
Cool. But I'm saying next year, if he gets a bigger role, that's the path. But we've also seen guys like Chris Godwin. He had to wait 2 years. So it's not guaranteed, but you want to stash those guys in your keeper leagues and your dynasty leagues and try and get them on there. Because if they're doing it if they're getting 5 targets a game at like a 50% snap share, he just had his first ever game running more than 50% of the routes. Just wait and see what it looks like when he runs 80% or 90%. Could be huge.
All right, let's get back to the Q&A right now. Dave Yurkowitz in here. Fighting for a first-round bye. Already clinched the playoff berth thanks to Fantasy Alarm. You're very welcome, sir. Start Burrow versus Baltimore. Stafford versus Carolina. Rams defense really starting to scare me. Limiting Stafford's need to throw. I think I'm still starting Stafford here. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Burrow, Baltimore, Thanksgiving Day. What do you think?
Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Yeah. I mean, just Stafford's been so good, and you're right. The suffering from success narrative that goes on with Stafford, right? Like where sometimes they are beating teams two-handedly. You saw that a number of years with actually Aaron Rodgers, where like the MVP years for Aaron Rodgers, sometimes he wouldn't even play the fourth quarter, But Stafford has just been so good that I think I would just, even if they told me Burrow was going to start, I would go Stafford outright versus Carolina.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Chris Braden in the house. Good morning, gents. B. Bernard's in there. Happy Thanksgiving week, Fantasy Alarm family. Thank you. Chris Braden has the question. In his Superflex league, Baker was dropped, but now it looks like a low-grade sprain. I'm considering picking him up even if he misses a week. Other QBs are Nixon, Shador, CJ also available. I would definitely take that shot. I mean, if you only have two quarterbacks in your Superflex league, you don't have a third guy. Like, are people dropping guys for their bye? Like, I would say I would rather take a shot on Baker and stash him from this. But, I mean, are you going to drop Nix or Shador? And you're not going to drop Nix. Shador.
Definitely going to drop Shador for Baker. I mean, if it's a low-grade sprain, he's going to be back for playoffs. I mean, dude, here's my question. Who wakes up on Tuesday morning before waivers run and before we really get the true injury news and just drops a guy to waivers? What's that about?
Rage drop, baby. Rage drop,
dude. Crazy business. Now you can't. Here's the thing, and the reason that you got to go out and spend up to get Baker is not only can he help you, but you don't want him bailing out somebody in your league that has quarterback trouble, and the last missing piece for them would be Baker Mayfield. So you really got to get him and play defense, man. If somebody wants to pick up and start Shador Sanders, I'm not worried about that team when it comes to playoff time. I'm worried about the team that is Baker, not the team that is Shador.
All right. Membership has its privileges. Roddy Rod's throwing them down here. Chargers versus Raiders or Cleveland versus San Francisco? Chargers for me.
Chargers for me. And the Chargers are my number one ad this week for defenses because, as always happens, a bunch of people dropped them on their bye week, not even considering the matchup they have coming out. I mean, the Raiders just lost to the Browns and Shador Sanders. Like, Chargers are now rostered in less than 40% of leagues on most platforms. So if they got dropped in your league, you got to make them a priority this week.
Yeah. Would you prefer Hunter Henry or Kyle Pitts the rest of the way? Hunter Henry.
Yeah, it's got to be Hunter Henry because Kyle Pitts, you know, he had his opportunity with these good matchups against the Panthers. Good matchup this week. He's running a ton of routes, got 5 targets, not doing anything with it. Can't trust that guy. So it's got to be Henry.
Use the number one waiver priority on Devin Neal or hold. Running backs are Henry, Hall, Barkley currently. I think you can.
I think you should.
At this point, what are we saving it for?
Right. This week, so again, you're right. When you get this far into the season, I'm more willing to use the number one waiver and fab because you got to get loaded up for the playoffs. So I'd be willing to go in for Devin Neal if he's there. I'd be willing to go in for Chris Rodriguez if he's there. And also, I'm pretty bullish on Jaden Higgins, and I'd be willing to go and grab him just based on, you know, all the he's been getting, 7, 9 targets. He had a game with 8 targets a couple weeks ago. Like, you got to go in on guys like that in week 13 because we want to see what they have before we start them. It's so hard to go out and just add a guy and start him during the playoffs. So now is the time to use it up. Save a little bit of money for kickers and defenses if you need them, but in the playoffs, it's much easier to stream kickers and defenses because half the league's been eliminated already, more than half.
Last question from Roddy Rods. Have we heard anything on Omarion Hampton or Drake London this week? Not yet.
No, because they don't play on Thanksgiving. So we're not going to. They're going to be on the normal schedule where we're going to get a little trickle in today and then Wednesday. Even tomorrow's practice won't really matter much for those guys because they don't play on Thanksgiving.
High Hopes wants to know, pick up Mechie for Mitchell. Yes, I would. John Mechie getting some serious work out of the slot for the Jets.
Yeah. Last week we had Mitchell as a stash, and we were like, okay, if he can catch some of these, he's getting separation. If he can catch some of these passes, we're good. What he catch? He caught 1 of 6 in the first game there, and then this week he caught 2 of 7. Nah, Mechie's the guy. So Mechie over Mitchell.
Welcome to the family, Karen Kettleson. She just joined. Level up, baby. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us here, and pop those questions into the chat. We got you covered.
What's going on with YouTube now? Is that a permanent change where it's no more usernames?
I have no idea.
I don't know how
I don't work. I don't work for YouTube. What I do know is that Deborah West has a first-round bye, and she's looking for depth at wide receiver. She got Garrett Wilson and Greg Dortch, John Mechie, Darnell Mooney, and Malik Washington are available on waivers. Do I hang on to Wilson or drop for one of these others? I think I would probably hold.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson a little bit more.
Gotta hold him just because there's not anybody out there that has like true crazy upside. I would drop Garrett for me to drop Garrett Wilson. I got to have somebody who's like one of the top receivers on their team, kind of locked in. Would you drop him for Christian Watson?
Wilson?
Would you drop Garrett Wilson for if like Christian Watson was out there?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Okay. Well, if you're not going to drop him for someone like that, then you're not going to drop him for Greg Dortch. So just hold on to Wilson.
No,
Would you drop him?
Mechie, Mooney, or Washington. I think the real question is would you drop Dortch for Mechie, Mooney, or Washington?
She has Greg Dortch. Oh yeah, I would drop Greg Dortch I would go for Mechie. He could be the top wide receiver on the team right now. And if they shut Wilson down, then you have the top wide receiver for the rest of the year. And if you bring him back, then you have the top wide receiver for the rest of the year.
There you go. Raider Dave, another member here. PPR Flex, RJ Harvey, Michael Wilson, Godwin, or Jacoby Myers. Wide receivers are Brown and Sutton. So who are you using in the flex here?
I mean, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, then it's obviously Michael Wilson.
Obviously Michael Wilson, yes.
The question is, what do you do if he plays? If he plays, then I'd probably just start RJ Harvey, the starting running back for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, against Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunday Night Football. I like it.
If you can't go away from Wilson if Marv is out. I mean, target machine.
Yeah. Another member here. RM Walkenfuss, PPR need 2. Ibuka, Pittman, Ladd, Mooney, 1 game under 500. Well, I was just doing some breakdown stuff. I definitely want to get Ladd McConkey into my lineup. I really do. I do not want Ibuka if it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. That's a shame. That's upsetting, but kind of the way you got to go there. And then Pittman's in a tough spot here. He's going to see a lot of Derek Stingley.
It's a bad matchup. He got away with it this week with the touchdown, right? Like kind of got away with it. Wouldn't have been a good week if he didn't score. So I think that's how we'll play it then. If it's Baker, then it's like Buka and Ladd. If it's Teddy, then it's Pittman and Ladd.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right, let's pop on up here. Actually, you know what? Before we get back to the Q&A here, before we start talking more waivers, I definitely got to give a shout out there because I literally just got a text from a buddy of mine who said, yo, what's up with that chain? So I'm happy to say I'm going to tell you what's up with that chain, baby. Booyah! That's what you're looking at right now here. Coop's got his. Let me just let me help you guys out here with the old QR code because we got some good stuff going on here. Check this out right now. So, I feel so good when I'm wearing this. I always like my swaggy sunglasses as we go through here. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're with the Fantasy Alarm family, you play like a champion. Now, it's time to look like a champion too. We're proud to announce our new partnership with USA Sports Fan Chains to help you look like the champion you are or will be by the end of the fantasy football season. Get one for yourself or get one for your league and pass it around each year. These are made in the USA, people. They are local, homegrown chains. They're lightweight, designed to be bold and eye-catching, ensuring that they attract attention and generate excitement. Right? Built to move with the fans. They're a perfect accessory for anyone looking to show off their fantasy team superiority. And you know that you've got that superiority, so why not flaunt it? And don't just revel in a championship. Troll your league loser too with their all-new I suck at fantasy football chains. I don't have one of those because I don't suck at fantasy football, but they make them so that you can give it to your league loser there. All right, US Sport Fan Chains, amazing stuff here. Get one for your league today at fantasyalarm.com/USA Chains and give yourself the lead and your league a little bit of swagger. That's fantasyalarm.com/USA Chains because this is more than just an accessory. It is a declaration of winning. And if you see right there on the screen, also little Black Friday sale. I mean, these are the cheapest out there in the industry as far as they go anyway, but they're going to hook you guys up. 5% off for Black Friday, plus first 1,300 purchases, tax-free. No sales tax whatsoever. So booyah, hit that QR code that's right here in front of me, or go to fantasyalarm.com/USA Chains. Get 5% off for Black Friday orders and no tax for the first 1,300. I love no tax. No tax is always the best, right?
USA, 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 USA. Don't be
Anything
wearing
better
no
than locally made? No,
don't be wearing
nothing
no
better
cheap
than
chain.
locally made.
Don't be wearing no cheap chain. Get yourself a USA sports fan chain.
Yeah. I already have one ready to be passed around to like different leagues of mine. And I'm super psyched about it. And everybody in my league who's like kind of seen these would be like, yo, am I getting one of those? Maybe you got to beat me if you're going to do it. But just want to shout that out there. New partner for Fantasy Alarm Family. And these things are absolutely fantastic. And they are lightweight. That's the best part here, is that they're light. And you walk around. Imagine strutting into your draft rocking this sucker here.
Has to be done, dude. And it's a gift you can get for 12 people. You know what I mean? Like, you get it the year you win, or just get it and bring it and, pump one of your buddies up, throw it on them and say, hey, you know what? You get the chain this year, I'm getting it next year. But it's a gift for everybody, which is nice. It's Thanksgiving. Get a gift for everybody, okay?
There it is. It's Thanksgiving. Beautiful. All right. Now let's get back to it. The member questions are out of the way. We got lots of other questions in here. So let's just get right to it here. DJ Salou says, drop Cade Otton for Dalton Kincaid or Darren Waller full point PPR.
I would, as long as you have somebody that can start for you this week. I do have Kincaid ranked over Waller, but Waller, they just said, is going to be activated this week. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to play this week. It means that his window, the 21-day window where he has to play or he goes back on IR, has been activated. Now, if he does start playing soon, that schedule, Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals week 16, the middle of fantasy playoffs, you'll know whether Waller's back to being Waller by the time he gets that game, a game that everybody has been crushing. Like, that's a guy that I'm looking to add. So you got to make sure you have somebody to start this week. But if Cade Otton's your tight end too, I have no interest in Cade Otton. I mean, it's just with the quarterback hurt and with Chris Godwin back, just not a situation I'm really super pumped on. So go out and get Kincaid first, then Waller.
What are your thoughts on Brenton Strange? He also throws Brenton Strange into that question here as well.
I mean, he's fine, but BTJ is coming back, so I really do think he's going to be pretty squarely the third fiddle. So he's like Cade Otton of last year for Liam Cohen. Where one of the wide receivers, when they're hurt, he's fine. Otherwise, I'm not really going there. So I definitely have Kincaid and Waller ahead, just closer to being focal points of their offenses.
He really wants to bail on Tampa Bay. Drop Godwin to pick up Devin Neal.
I don't think it's crazy. So here's what we saw. I talked about on the show yesterday when we do on the Monday show. If you guys didn't see that, you can go back and just hear all the we break down every game and just tell you the usage for all the players behind the scenes. They eased Godwin back in. So he basically just took over Sterling Shepard's role. He was playing in the slot. And then he played a couple 2 wide receiver sets over Tez Johnson, but they were kind of limiting his usage and getting him ramped back up because he's coming off a foot injury, so he doesn't have stamina needed to play the entire game. When I'm still stashing Godwin personally, because I think he will get up to full speed and be the guy opposite Egbuka. But if Neal is a guy you're going to start right away, if Kamara's out, you're going to start him this week, then you got to do what you got to do for your starting lineup. So Godwin's still the better stash, but if you're going to start Neal with Kamara out, you got to make that move.
Gerson 4835, quick trade question, 7 and 5, locked in the 2-3 seed, 10-teamer. Do I trade Egbuka for London?
So basically, you're betting on London coming back and playing.
Right? It's my quarterback is hurt or I'm hurt. Which one do you want?
If London wasn't hurt, that'd be a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's locked into playoffs and he has Lamb, JSN, and Michael Wilson, I think I'd rather have London.
I think I'd rather have London as well.
I think I would risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. Go for London.
If you look at Egbuka's numbers from...
Haven't been great.
No, first 5 games, 25 catches, 445 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Last 6 games, 23 catches, 304 yards, and only 1 touchdown. And now your quarterback has got a shoulder issue. And now Chris Godwin is back as well. London for me, too.
The team's in first place in the division, and I'm hearing every corner of the internet is saying Mike Evans wants to play football. So don't be surprised if he comes back around fantasy championship time too.
Better wide receiver stash: Jaden Higgins, John Mechie, or Luther Burden?
I have them ranked, and again, we have the article up. Higgins first, then Burden, then Mechie. Jaden Higgins for me is now pretty squarely the wide receiver 2 on that team. He had the one down week that within the last 5 games where he had 1 target. The other games he had 8 targets and a touchdown, 7 targets and a touchdown, 7 targets and a play where he got tackled at the 1-inch line, and then 9 targets and a touchdown this past week. Jaden Higgins is definitely the best combination of upside and usability right now of pretty much anybody on the wire. He should have been added last week when we talked about it for an hour on this show. He's been in the stash article for 5 weeks. Fantasy Line members already got him locked in.
Drop Kyle Pitts for Harold Fannin or Dalton Schultz?
I'm not really super pumped on Schultz. He's better than what we saw this week because the Bills are the top matchup, but I personally would just keep Pitts, but Fannin kind of intriguing now with Shedeur. We're wondering who Shedeur is going to like. Fannin led the team in routes run and in targets. So Fannin kind of a very good stash now. If we get 2 games where he leads the team in routes and targets with Shedeur, we're locked in, right?
Yeah. Olave over Ibuka this week. I'll say yes to that. Olave going up against Miami. I don't love Tyler Shuck, but
Tyler Shuck's been improving. I was looking at his numbers. Last 2 games, 240, 260 yards. Every game he's getting a little bit better, So not terrible. And even if he is terrible, Olave gets double-digit targets every week.
All right. Well, here you go. You said Mike Evans wants to play football. Gray wants to know. And you know what? This seems like a perfect opportunity, Coop, to discuss your wide receivers as far as where you want to go. Stashes, streamers, waiver ads right now. Who do you like?
Perfect. Yeah, if you have an IR spot, you can put Mike Evans in. I would do it. Otherwise, it might be a little too thin to have a guy like that on your bench that might not play. So IR spot for sure is what I'm doing there. We don't know we know that when Mike Evans gets back, he gets his role back. The question is what happens with the other guys. Does Ibuka stay as a full-time guy and Godwin is just a part-time slot guy? Or is it Evans and Godwin in their roles and Ibuka goes back to being the wide receiver 3? We literally haven't seen it all year because we haven't seen all these guys at the same time. So that is what scares us a little bit. I'm only stashing Evans if I do have a IR spot. Now, for the wide receiver landscape, the top ad for me this week is Jaden Higgins across the board. Whether you need a guy to play this week, whether you need a guy to go on your bench as a stash, that's the guy that I'm focusing on. After that, as it often is, it's split up into, do you need the guy to play for you this week, or are you just looking for the highest risk, highest reward bench play, right? So if I'm looking for, Higgins above all these guys, but if I'm streaming, I'm looking at Christian Watson, right? Alec Pierce, we've been using him for a while. Now he's rostered. He plays a full snap share. He's on a good team, and he gets high A-dot routes. He gets a shot at a big one. He gets looks in the end zone. Christian Watson caught 2 touchdowns a week before last from 2 different quarterbacks. Watson fits all that criteria. Leads the team in routes run, runs the high A-dot routes. In any given week, he's a decent, all right, just throw him in there type guy. Same with Kayshon Boutte with the Patriots. This week he came back, and he led the team in routes run. It's him and Mac Hollins on the outside with Diggs as kind of a part-time guy. He's on the radar too. And then for a 1-week play with T. Higgins, T. Higgins probably isn't going to play, right, Bender? He's got the concussion.
He's not playing. You've already ruled him out.
Already ruled out, yeah, because he played Thursday. So, yeah, with him already ruled out, Andre Iosivas is just going to be on the table again. And, in your crazy deep league, Scott Fishbowl, whatever, throw a Mitchell Tinsley in there. Why not? For stashes, Higgins, again, the top stash. And then we're looking at Luther Burden. We've got the talent. He's getting more work. We want to see that ascend as the season goes on. It could happen. Happens every once in a while. You have to remember, we'll throw out another name. Amon-Ra St. Brown, like I mentioned earlier. Go and look at his rookie year. He didn't break out until week 13. This week was the first week he got double-digit targets, and then he continued to get double-digit targets every week for the rest of the season because they realized he was a star. You never know. Could happen with some of these guys. And then we're looking at John Mechie because clearly he's better at catching the football than Adonai Mitchell. He's the top wide receiver on a football team. It happens to be the Jets, but still, you got to add those guys. So that's what we're looking at right now. One more week of John Mechie getting 6 targets, 7 targets, and catching 5 of them, and now he's startable.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's like, would you rather Mechie or Khalil Shakir?
Right. It's like at a certain point, if this guy's going to get 6 targets, 7 targets, and be the featured wide receiver one, you got to just throw those guys in. So that's where we're at.
All right. Frosty's in the house here. Devin Neal or Chris Rodriguez. So answering this, probably a good time to talk about your running backs as well, Coop.
Might as well hit on them. Yeah. So this is the thing. Chris Rodriguez at this very moment has the best long-term appeal because he's already earned the starting job. He is the starting running back for his team, and that's not going to change. If if word comes out that Alvin Kamara is going to go on the IR, then Devin Neal becomes the guy. Devin Neal got a bunch of I don't know, Howard. It boggles my mind. Alvin Kamara all year doesn't get targets, and then Devin Neal, the one game Kamara gets hurt, Devin Neal gets 7 targets.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
feel like I'm taking
that's Kellen Moore turning around saying, "You know what, Kamara, get out of here. We don't
get
need
out
you."
of here.
Oh, is
Yeah.
this what you wanted the whole time? Boo, 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 boo,
Dude,
boo.
Mickey Loomis needs to be fired into the sun. Like, what? Ridiculous, dude. I think he gave Kamara a 2-year deal, so Kamara's back next year, guaranteed money. So I don't know, man, but yeah, Devin Neal. He if Kamara were to be put on IR, he would be the play right away. Just know that Taysom Hill oddly got a ton of carries after
Yep.
Kamara got hurt, more carries than Neal, so he's going to be a goal line vulture annoyance. But Rodriguez has annoyances of his own. For streamers, Devin Neal, right? Because Kamara is going to miss at least one game, we imagine. Chris Rodriguez is on the table. If you're chasing a touchdown, Devin Singletary is on the table. If you're chasing targets, then Tajay Spears is a guy that continues to just catches 4 balls every game. So in full PPR, go there. Standard, go Singletary. And then stashes, a lot of the same guys. Bashal Tutin remains as the guy. He didn't get the work this week. Could be related to the ankle, though. And plus, ETN's got the shoulder. Who knows if that could get reactivated. So we're looking at Tutin. After that, it's just go for your handcuffs first. And then if you can't find, if your guy doesn't have a pure handcuff, anybody named B Robinson, right? Go out there and look for Brian Robinson, go out there, look for Tyler Algier. And Blake Corum. Blake Corum, of course. I looked it up today, Bender. In Sean McVay's offense this year, 74% of the touches have gone to just 4 players. Puka, Devontae, Kyron, and Corum. So Blake Corum definitely on the radar there. So that's how we're looking. That's how we're breaking it down with the RBs.
All right, fantastic. We got the RBs again. The articles are over at fantasyalarm.com. There's the primary waiver wire article about who you're adding right now. That's with Coop's tight end yin yang rankings for the week. Streamers and stashes, you got to be a member. fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Promo code YT50 takes 50% off. Get in while you can. All right, another question here. The tight ends. So might as well just segue into the tight ends. Would you rather have Brenton Strange or Darren Waller right now?
Waller, 100%. No one has better upside than Waller. He was great before. He has a great schedule. If and when he's back up and running, I mean, as soon as I see one game where he's just out there running more than 50% of the routes, we're back in. And because it's a pec injury, he hopefully has been on the bike and kept his stamina up, so he doesn't have to be eased in like last time. So yeah, Waller's number one for me. We're also looking at Colston Loveland for a lot of the same reasons that we look at Luther Burden. He's the young guy, high draft capital, looks talented, 5 catches virtually every game. We're hoping they just unleash this guy, For streamers, Dalton Schultz is once again on the radar. Mike Gesicki for 1 week play. I mean, he ran 26 routes last week, and T. Higgins is out, so he could be a 1 week stream for you. Brenton Strange is a possible streamer with Brian Thomas Jr. kind of coming back for his first game back. And then stashes are Waller, Colston Loveland, and also, Mason Taylor. Like, he's still getting a ton of work, and maybe he can get on the same page with Tyrod Taylor. But that's the way we're looking at it. But Waller, for me, is a guy that I'm prioritizing. I actually was able to drop in a Yahoo league. I dropped Kyle Williams and added Waller before everything locked yesterday just to get him on another team. So I'm trying to get him wherever I can.
All right. Membership has its privileges here. Rice or Kelsey in fast draft? I assume KC is going to grind against Dallas and keep the offense off the field. More than likely, yeah. I don't know. Is Rice? We got to check out the health of Rice and see how he's feeling. He came out of the game. I don't know if it was precautionary or whatnot. So you're going to have to just kind of wait on that one, at least for till tomorrow when we get some news.
Yeah. The one thing about Fast Draft that has me leaning towards Rice as long as he's healthy and playing is that it's all flexes and there's no tight end premium. There's no positional scarcity that gives a bonus to tight ends. So a lot of times I don't even draft them, So for me, like unless you're playing a format that requires a tight end, I usually lean towards the guys that have higher upside, which is Rice.
All right. Frosty wants to know, is Odunze Dunzo?
I mean, that's a very strange team over there. They got too many weapons all of a sudden. So, not necessarily Dunzo, but he's not a lock. He's in that start sit group where sometimes you sit him, sometimes you start him.
Oh, Karen Kettleson, she's playoff bound. Just wanted to let you know.
Go.
Remember, playoff bound, we love that for sure. Matty Strauss in the house here. Yeah, Hunter Henry call out gets that champion chain. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Yeah, that was a great call for the weekend here. Very, very happy to have that. All right.
Using the DFS, tight end 6 in the rankings.
Steven
We were ready.
Pereira. Are we starting Bucky Irving with confidence this week?
Confidence is a strong word, my friend, but especially if Baker's going to be out. But I mean, you can't ignore how good this player is in general. And then offensive line is also kind of banged up, but I'm not necessarily just locking him right in, ranking him running back 12. He'll probably be ranked like running back 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range. I'm going to be doing the rankings this afternoon. Those will be up for members by the end of the day today.
All right. Cool. Put those Twitch glasses on, buddy.
Yeah, Twitch gang.
Niori's in the house here. Was able to trade away Emeka and Harvey for JSN last week before the weekend games. Looking so good so far. So good so far.
Who in their right mind is like, man, this guy's on pace for 2,000 yards. I'm going to trade him away.
I'm going to trade him away for a couple of rookies.
It must have been not fun watching the game this week because he looked incredible.
Niori wants to know Rams or Chargers defense this week. I gotta go with the Rams.
Yeah.
I gotta go with the Rams.
Right. The Rams against the Panthers. Chargers, good matchup too. They're both going to probably be top 5 for me, but the Rams might be the best defense in the league, man. They might be the best defense in the league.
Frosty says, do I drop Godwin or Reed to stash Garrett Wilson?
I would drop Reed. Just because Reed's out too. They're both out. So might as well go with the guy with the highest upside. So I would drop Reed to stash Wilson.
Yeah.
Godwin's actually playing, so you got to prioritize him over those guys a little bit.
Do you think Bucky's going to play this week?
The rumors that are swirling around that player are so crazy. I don't know what's going on with him, man. It's very weird. So I don't know. I hope so.
Do we think Nico Collins, what do we think of him for rest of the season? Is he still a top 10 wide receiver? I'd really like him to have CJ Stroud back. Yeah. Davis Mills ain't doing it for me.
Davis Mills, man. If Davis Mills could throw the ball to a wide open Jaden Higgins this week, he would have had 200 yards. I mean, like, he's just not quite. He's not quite good. So, yeah, we need Stroud back. Stroud's been out with a concussion since the Broncos game, which was it 3 weeks ago? Howard?
3 weeks ago, yeah.
So CJ Stroud might not be coming back. We saw it last year. When you get into that part of the concussion protocol where like Cedric Tillman last year missed like 9 games, like sometimes they just shut you down.
Sometimes they do. Membership here again. I grabbed Waller yesterday because of you. Good job, thanks. But I have Otten. Should I roll with him or grab a waiver like Taysom Hill, Evan Engram, or Mike Gesicki?
I would probably just start Otten this week. Taysom Hill is going to be in my standard rankings. Taysom Hill is going to be ranked in the tight end 2 range for sure. Would you go Gesicki for a 1 week play?
For 1 week, I think I would. And just, for the Sunday game against the Ravens, I'd probably do that for the 1 week. I'm not interested in Otten.
So, yeah, drop Otten, go Gesicki this week, and then we'll see what
Waller have Waller as a stash.
Yeah. They have 21 days to start Waller to play him in a game.
Jim Romany made the playoffs thanks to us. Well, it's thanks to you. You're in the end, Jim, you're the one who clicks the start sit buttons there. So He's got Pitts, can't keep scraping by, streams tight ends. Who do I pick up this week? Fan and Strange, Kincaid, or Jawan Johnson?
Juwan's been great.
Juwan's been solid.
Bad match. Yeah, bad matchup this past week, and he still did good. Basically, he hurt his ankle, had 3 down games. Every other game this year, 8 games, double-digit PPR points. So I like Juwan.
Love this question here. Start either Drake May or Lamar Jackson. Drake May's got the Giants.
That's the question of the year. I never know how to answer.
Question of the year.
I never know how to answer that question.
I don't either. I'm diving into this matchup as I'm like doing the playbook for Thursday's games. I'm still diving in. I'm trying to do some more sleuthing here as far as Lamar Jackson, this toe injury now.
Oh, because he's got the Bengals. Otherwise, I'd just say, yeah, Lamar against the Bengals. Slam dunk, But
right. But you know what? We've said that slam dunk against the Bengals for the last 2 straight weeks, and neither Aaron Rodgers nor Drake May were able to produce. He's not running. That's the problem.
He's not running, yeah.
He's not running. So I'm kind of leaning Drake May on this one here, even though it's a must win and it's a home game and it's against the Bengals.
I know, yeah. Go Drake May. I'm going to that game, Bender.
Oh, nice.
I haven't been to a game, and I can only go to Monday games because we work on Thursday and Sunday. And finally, there's a home Monday game. So I was like, I don't care who it is. I don't care how cold it is. I'm going to go. So I'm going.
Try not to get into a fight.
We'll see. Giants fans in town. All the Cam Scatterbo fans are in town. So the energy drinks are going to be out and about.
Ani Coop says, likes for Laney, baby. What's going on?
Coop was here yesterday. They had a blast running around.
Carsey says, Chaosin. I don't know what happened. I don't know why we're speaking Spanish. Outdoor Call Radio. What's up, Dan? Happy Turkey Day to you as well.
Dan the man. Good to see him in here.
Chris Braden says, I would assume Higgins is still the guy to get over Yosivash, even with Burrow back? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Niori says, should I drop Booty for Marcy? Who's Marcy? Oh, Mechie. He says, Mechie.
I would not. Because they have a very similar role, but one offense is better and more productive. So I would stick with Keyshawn Boutte.
And Dunn wants to know, what about Pat Bryant?
What about him? Yeah, he had to beat out Troy Franklin. That's what needed to happen. He had it. I don't even know if he really even got a chance. We still like him in Dynasty, but like that was his path. Now his path in Dynasty is to wait out Cortland Sutton and become the split end opposite Troy Franklin.
Chuba seems to be getting perhaps a bit more work last night. Is he still worth a stash if you have the ability to do so? If you have the ability to do so, yeah. Carolina's playing from behind, and Chuba's starting to get some of that passing work there as well. Dowdle's still the lead guy, but again, what if Dowdle gets hurt?
Yeah, that was a very weird game script yesterday where it was like nobody had time to rest because there were turnovers every other second. Like, you know what I mean? You do a long drive, defense turns the ball over, the ball gets turned right over, you go right back out there. It was very, very weird game. Very weird game. Brock Purdy played terrible, dude. How bad does Brock Purdy need to play for them to lose that game?
I know, right? 3 picks in like the first 5 minutes.
Like, dude, if you can't win that game, it's done.
Here you go. Keep playing Henry till Kincaid is back.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing. That's like 90% of my teams, dude. It's Henry and Kincaid, and Henry has been bailing me out. The problem you run into though, brother, is that if Kincaid's not back next week, Patriots are on bye. Patriots are one of the few teams there's only 4 teams that have a bye week left. It's Patriots, 49ers, Panthers, and the Vikings.
Is it the Vikings?
No, it's not the Vikings.
No.
It is the Giants.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys you're gonna play him this week and cross your fingers that Kincaid is back.
All right. 2 socks in the house here. Good day, guys. Good day to you, sir. Broke my 3-week losing streak, went from 9th to 5th by 5 of us. Had the same record starting week 12. That's great. That means everything counts right now.
Huge.
Got to get in there.
Huge.
Doomy McSludge says, going for the ship in my Dynasty League, offered up Garrett Wilson and 2 firsts for JSN. Good trade?
Oh, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, what do you 3 firsts for JSN? That's the price, right? And
If you're going for it this year, yeah, I would do that.
Play to win. You play to win the game.
Play to win the game. That's what we do.
Stinky Dipey and Doomy McSludge in the house today. What a crew.
Is Waller worth a stash if I have Jawan? I'd have to drop Mooney to do so. So I'm not going to make that move then.
No. Because
if
Mooney
dropping Mooney.
With Higgins out this week and Garrett Wilson being out and DJ Moore being kind of like Mooney's much closer to your starting lineup than you think. But I got to hang on to Mooney.
Stinky Dipey. It's got Theo right now. Should I use the rest of my budget on any of these tight ends, Fannin, Strange, or Kincaid?
I would go in on Kincaid. When healthy, he's been good, and his schedule, if he can come back, Steelers this week, then the Bengals, then the Patriots, then the Browns. Eagles is a tough matchup. But I would go on Kincaid. I would just get him.
Big trade just dropped in Niori's league. Puka Nacua and Kamani Vidal for Saquon and Waddle.
I mean, if the team getting Nacua wasn't using Vidal, then I love the trade for them because they're consolidating. It could be a good trade for both teams if the person that's getting Saquon and Waddle is going to start both, and I bet they will. So it could be a fair trade for everybody.
There we go. High Hopes just wants to complain. She's got Drake London, Abuka, and Odunze.
There was a time where that was great news. That was week 4. Week 3, right? That team was incredible a month and a half ago.
Look at this. This is funny. Yeah, I don't know why. Here we go. So it is the names here, right? Doomy McSludge is actually Ryan Voltz. What's up, buddy?
That's what I'm saying. The name has got. We realized that YouTube did something, and
now Mark L is actually Deathwish.
Mark is Deathwish. Yeah, I thought you couldn't make it today, Deathwish. What's up, dude?
Well, he says he got back for the last 3 minutes. Early dismissal for the kids means I can't make any of the videos the past week.
I told him on Reddit, I was like, you got to drop those kids to waivers for ones with a better schedule.
Yeah.
That's all. You need to top their schedule down the stretch here, Mark, because these are important shows, bro. But yeah, so it's like, I don't know who anybody is. And I think when their names are up there, I know who all these people are. So if you're a regular, let us know. We'll try and see if we can match up the names because I know these people, but I don't know what's going on. The only person that has the same username as their real name is Two Socks.
Right. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much, guys and girls. Thanks for dropping in here. We appreciate you guys joining us here on the show again tomorrow. We're going to load it up. So it's start sits, it's trades, it's everything because we know that it's a 3-game slate. We're hard at work getting all that content out to you nice and early. So check out everything over at Fantasy Alarm. And if you don't subscribe, do yourself a favor. You want in on the Thanksgiving slate. Traditionally, the family eats on Thanksgiving. So hit that QR code. Go to fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Use the promo code YT50. It'll take 50% off your first month. And this is season long DFS betting, access in our Discord so that you can hit us up at all times. Listen, I live in Alaska, people. So I'm 4 hours behind the East Coast. I'm an hour behind our good friends on the West Coast. So I'm in there early in the morning. I'm in there late at night. Happy to help you guys as well. So appreciate you guys joining us here again. Coop, thoughts, hopes, dreams, final words? What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, for us here at the family, this is the most important week, and we're just thankful for all you guys. So thank you guys for popping in. And the last thing that I'll add is this.
Adios, turd nuggets.